sorry guys, we're all dumb and we don't know internet terms. My apologies. So, I didn't really get a lot of comments on the last one, which I kind of expected, and which I was super stoked because there was something I wanted to talk about way more, and I was afraid your dumb ideas would be what I would have to do. That's totally not going to be the case. Today, we get to talk about gay marriage. Sweet. Let me say, just like the last time, I totally think gay people should be allowed to get married. But I want to clarify something that I notice a lot whenever the argument of gay marriage gets brought up. It gets called gay rights, and then the people who want people to be allowed to get married, gay people get married. It's not gay rights, it's people rights. Well, first of all, fuck you, dude. Humans shouldn't have the right to get married. Do you realize how absurd that is to call that a right? You have the right to just legally bind your... A marriage is essentially just a huge gamble that you're going to love someone forever. You're betting half your shit that you're going to love that person for the rest of your life. And on top of that, you don't have to have any qualifications. You don't have to take a test. You don't even have to know the person. I got married in Canada, and I lost a bet and I married this dude in Canada. I still don't know what the fuck his name is. Totally not a huge thing for gay people to get married, but I do have to clarify that it is gay rights. Gay people have the same rights as me. Gay people still have equal rights. Gay people are equally allowed to marry chicks just as much as I am. They just don't care. It's a matter of a right that's applicable to you. And whenever you're talking about rights that you don't actually care about, like, for instance, I have the right to carry a firearm. But because I don't enjoy carrying firearms, I go ahead and carry around swords and knives and consider it my right to bear arms, and that's what makes it applicable to me. But it's not necessarily equal rights, because we're using them in different ways. So, don't go around believing, first of all, that marriage is a necessity. Second of all, that gay people getting married is some sort of critical destruction of the human infrastructure. It's like, one of my favorite arguments on gay marriage is whenever it's like, well, how am I supposed to explain to my child that two men are allowed to get married? How did you explain to him that a man and a woman were able to get married? You didn't. You're just like, hey, this is something that happened, and they're like, oh, okay, cool, I get it. Can I have a popsicle? That's it. Little kids are the best age to tell people that they're allowed to get married, because that's before they know what gay is, and they have the time to process it without really thinking about it. You tell someone in their 20s about gay marriage, and they've only heard about straight marriage, and then they're going to have the image of gay people having sex, and that's another big reason that gay marriage is a problem. I kind of give credit to the homophobes, dude. It makes it real. It's like, if gay people are getting married, then they have no barrier to hide behind, and they have to imagine gay dudes boning. Is that gay people's fault? No. But it's still kind of a reasonable argument. It's like, dude, if you're allowed to get married, then I know what you're going to be doing on your wedding night, and I don't want that in my head. But what's more, honestly, if it were up to me, all marriage should be illegal. You shouldn't be allowed to get married. Like, the most you should be allowed to do is like sign like a special buddy contract, where worst case scenario, like you're in this special buddy contract with the special person in your life, and the only thing that legally ties you to, the only obligation that is that you just sign a piece of paper saying, right now I like this person a lot, but if I don't like them, people drift apart. But no one ever accepts that. Like, I get it, your grandparents met when they were 17 and they stayed together their entire lives. The same case with my grandparents. But that doesn't mean that marriage is a solid institution. That doesn't mean that you're going to be the person to find that special person forever. No, because let's face it, more than half of the people I've ever met who've ever been in a relationship are dumb and think that they're in love with someone that they're going to break up with in like a week. And that's like the lucky ones. Most of you are way, way worse, because you're like, oh, hey, I found someone special, and then you stick with them like you met them when you were 16, you know nothing of the world, and it's like, this is the only person I'll love forever, and then you're like 35, and then you realize, wait a second, you like the original Star Trek, not Star Trek Next Generation, and then you get into a huge fight, and you fucking poison the dude's oatmeal, and fucking marriage falls apart, probably because he's dead, and because Star Trek is a poison. Star Wars all the way. Back to the point at hand. Let's get away from conventional marriage. Focus again on gay marriage. The thing about gay marriage is that it's going to be an entire warp on the concept of marriage because the gender roles don't exist. That's why they're gay, because they don't have gender roles. So, first of all, like, a lot of people have trouble wrapping their mind around the concept of just two grooms. There always has to, and it's totally sexist and fucking fucked up for people to think, oh, hey, there has to be a submissive, there has to be a bitch in every gay relationship. They can't just be totally butch dudes who enjoy playing video games, working out, and occasionally making out. No, can't work that way. There's got to be the guy that like fucking wears the apron, and then the guy who like goes to work and has a briefcase. Or what's a common gay profession? Like, cause I think about it, and I'm not really certain. Like, what? I'm trying to think of all the stereotypes of gays, and I can't think of any really solid gay profession. But again, that's why it's a rant. I get off topic. Let's go ahead and bring it back. The core issue here is, why do you want to get married? Why is it so intrinsically offensive to you? What do you think it will change in society if you're allowed to get married? Because I feel like the only reason gay people are really pushing for gay marriage is because, well, if I'm allowed to get married, then everyone's going to be okay with me being gay. No! They're going to be way less okay with you being gay. Because now, on top of you being gay, you're going to have another gay dude that's constantly around reminding them of how gay you are. Like, I'm sorry. I'm an asexual human being. I have no general preferences, and I think that all humans are gross. But I can totally see from a straight person's perspective or someone who's not necessarily open-minded to see two dudes, and that just doesn't click in their brains, and that's because we haven't taught anyone. It's like we're teaching little kids, like, hey, this guy's a guy, this guy's a girl. Little kids are like, ew, they have cooties. And then they're like teenagers, it's like, well, I mean, you know, I don't totally hate her. I guess I'll pull on her hair or something. And then the hormones kick in. It's like, sex, boner, titties. Then that goes on. For dudes, that goes on forever. That's how you're going to die, dude. Sorry to bust that bubble. I know I'm not old enough to guarantee it for you. Ask your grandfather. That doesn't go away for the rest of your life. Something forever. I know, and it sucks. Trust me. I'm aware of that. I'm not, because I don't personally feel it. Asexuality, totally the way to go. But I can kind of have some sympathy that that's forever. And then females, it's like, I always imagine like just this kind of weird escalator of sexual confusion and identity. Like, it's like, hey, boys are cute. Well, you know, boys are dicks. And then it's like, well, I need to get married. Well, you know, boys are still pretty dumb. And it's like just kind of always compromising between how attractive you find us and how much you realize that our gender is inferior. And from what I understand, that goes on forever until you like hit your 40s, 50s, and then you're like, finally come to the ultimate conclusion. Yeah, females are the superior race, and if I'd realized this when I was 20, I would have started an Amazonian tribe of warrior women and committed genocide upon the entire human race, found a way to artificially reproduce sperm or just generally asexually reproduce, and we'd be extinct. We would so totally get extinct so quick if chicks could figure out how to get rid of us. And while I'm on that topic, I've only been focusing on dudes getting married. Haven't really given much attention to you lesbians out there, because you have the same struggle. I think the thing about it with lesbians is a few things. First of all, I don't think people, like, obviously people don't care about lesbians as much. Even like the butch ones that dudes don't even like. Just the concept of lesbians is something that has been so overdone in society. Like, oh, lesbians, that's hot. And what's more is that you guys kind of get the bad rap that you actually choose it. Like, gay people, like gay dudes, it's like, I didn't choose this, okay? This is just how I am. Girls, like, a lot of the time, you hear lesbian stories, it's like, yeah, after like my 50th boyfriend cheated on me, I was like, okay, I'm done with men. And you just chose to be gay. I know that that's not it for a lot of you, but lesbians, you have got to stop getting so many converts. Because that's why we don't take you seriously. Because gay dudes don't get a lot of converts. Gay dudes have very minimal converts on their side. You chicks have insane amount of converts. Super dick crazy sleuths out there that just go ahead and become lesbians for a little while. That's how come we think it's a choice. That's how come we don't take you very seriously. Because we don't believe that it's something that's actually intrinsically a part of you. We just believe you hate dudes, which you totally should. I mean, If I could, dude, if I could just, I wouldn't want a vagina either because it's way too high maintenance. But if I could just like get rid of this thing right here, this dangling flesh tube, I'd fucking right away. But at the same time, I think there's a decent compromise we could come to here. I think there's an idea where gay people could get married and no one would freak out. Straight people could get married and people would still not care because, you know, again, straight people get married for way, way too long and gay people have been around for way, way too long. How about instead of us trying to find a way to make this all equal, how about instead of us trying to make gay marriage the real solidifier that'll make sure that homophobia dies in the U.S., how about we just sort of accept the fact, because you have one of two ways of going about this. You can either go ahead, fight against the system, get married in spite of all the people who don't want you to get married, thinking that, okay, well, now that I'm allowed to get married and it's in law, people have to accept me. How about instead of believing that, you just continue to fight against the system, but instead of believing that it's going to actually change anything, fucking sign a piece of paper. Sign a waiver that says, I understand why this is gross, and straight people continue to just be straight, and really, it's so easy to just not focus on people being married. Like, everyone who's married, stop being proud of being married. I know that's hard to do because it's like, hey, look, I found a soulmate and it's awesome. That's creepy for everyone. It's just that as straight people, we've had to deal with it longer. Gay people, we haven't dealt with it as long. So you can get married and you have full rights, but don't be open about the getting married. You can either be open about being gay or you can be open about being married. But you can't have both. Let's meet halfway here, gay folk. I know it's not fair. Life isn't fair. I don't make the rules, and I don't follow them either, but I'm vaguely aware of them and the crazy bubble of insanity that I live in. Anyways, this has been another episode of Ranting with Dee Dee. Thank you for your time. Good night, Planet Internet.